Testing, making sure this mic is on. All right, guys, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is January 6, 2022. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, click on that white logo, turn on notifications, subscribe to our channel, like our videos. Really do appreciate it, of course. It does help with the algo, so just hit that like button if you like these videos. And make sure to subscribe to our channel, of course, so you don't miss anything. All right, let's talk about the market this morning. Dow futures are up 92 points. It was down a lot worse overnight. Down 70 points on the Nasdaq, 0.45%. S&P futures are slightly green, and the Russell 2000 is up 0.29%. Crude oil is at $80 a barrel, up $2.75%. Gold futures are down 2% today, $17.87 an ounce. Again, we talked about that 1800 level. We had a breakout level for GLD to talk about. Didn't happen, didn't break our alert. 2204 for silver futures, down 4.83%. Euro dollar is up slightly, 1 pip, 113.14. 115.75 for the dollar yen, down 34 pips. Crypto is taking a hit, down 5.34% on Ethereum, 3,388 on the future side, 43,050 down 1.78% on Bitcoin. Gasoline futures are up 1.47% at $2.32 a gallon. Yields are continuing to creep up higher, 1.732% on the 10-year. The dollar index is slightly down, 96.14, and the VIX is at 20.02, up 1.47% this morning. Okay, so yesterday, I want to go over this. Yesterday I did on Instagram really late night. I think it was like on midnight or so. I did a couple of scenarios in terms of the Nasdaq. So that's the first thing I want to take a look at. Let's take a look at this here. This is what's important. Triple bottom, possibly, on the Nasdaq. We talked about 3 scenarios. So let me go ahead and illustrate it here. If you want to look at it a little more, take a look at our Instagram, our last post. So there's 3 scenarios here. This could be possibly a triple bottom, 1, 2, and 3. If here today we go sideways today, or we don't pop today, or whatever, or stay above this 100-day moving average on the Nasdaq, this could be a triple bottom, where tomorrow with a strong non-farm payroll report, we could bounce up, go as high as around 16,150. Definitely a possibility, maybe not happen in one day, but again, pessimism or optimism one way or another shows 2 sides where you can get a big flush or a big squeeze, especially on a big market event like the non-farm payroll report. So we could bounce today. Again, we need the VIX to stay below 20. We need the dollar to just subside, stay where it is. And if the 10-year yield can just stay below about 18 or about 1.9 or 2%, let's call it 17.5. If we stay below 17.5, that's a really good sign. So again, if it goes a little higher, it isn't that crazy. The problem with the bond yields going up is the velocity, not just the yields going up itself. Going up 2, 3, 4, 5% on TNX is not a good sign. Again, you can't have that much movement. Even on the opposite side, you can't have that much movement down. Bonds are not supposed to move that way. You're not supposed to have a bond sell-off or bond buying that quickly. So again, completely different scenario what you're looking at here. So again, that blue line is your 100-day moving average. If we hold there, we could possibly have a short squeeze tomorrow with non-farm payroll. If we do break below, the next target is pretty much right around 15,000 for the most part. And then we could possibly revisit those October lows of 14,502. Now, if we do revisit the lows of 14,502, remember your guide. Your guide here so far has been the 100-day moving average the past 52 weeks. We broke it slightly, but then we bounced. So again, we're starting to get to that level close enough, 15.5, maybe that 100-day moving average, where you start looking for opportunities on some names. I've gotten a lot of questions in terms of, hey, is this going to be the start of a sell-off? Is this the beginning of a correction? Guys, keep in mind that we're really just 1,000 points from Nasdaq, all-time highs. If we did the math here, this is on Nasdaq. Futures, 16,767, and we're at 15,707. It's 6% off its highs. That's not a correction. 10% is a correction, yes. but not 6%. So understand that. So here we are. Going on over this level again, we want to have to see if we have that triple bottom so far. And again, that's what I'm really watching for today. That's really the key. Problem is that, again, what do we expect in terms of non-farm payroll report? If we didn't have non-farm payroll report tomorrow, then of course it would probably be worth it to go for some puts, especially waiting for that break. But you have that big event coming right tomorrow. We had a really strong ADP report on Wednesday. So again, it remains to be seen what is next. Let's go over S&P futures. S&P futures, we're going to go to the daily here. And you can see that we're basically tapped the 50-day and bounced it. And we've been holding that 50-day for the last 52 weeks, except for October. If we start getting to 45.54, again, that is your bounce level. That's the level where supposedly, for the most part of the past year, we've bounced from it. So again, if we do break the 50-day, non-farm payroll does come, then you could start shorting down to around 451 on SPY. That seems about 452, 453 on SPY, and it should hit. Why? Because then you clear that 50-day moving average, you have that 100-day moving average as your next support, and then you can just target all the way down there. Once you hit the 100-day moving average on evening futures, it really is, the question is, do we hold it? It's no man's land. Again, it really depends on if yields continue to rise, if there's still kind of fear out there. So I can't really say I have a guess, to be honest with you, because I have to see the price action today. I have to see it. The last thing we want to do is we go short and then we have a short squeeze tomorrow. And the last thing we want to do is to go long when we fall tomorrow. So again, a lot of it today is just watching, because tomorrow is the really, really big event, the non-farm payroll jobs report. Let's take a look at the Russell 2000 index on the daily. And you can see Russell 2000 has just been, for the past 52 weeks, stagnant, side by side, not doing much. It's just what it is. That's where we are. It's just been sideways action. So none of this is really shouting to me bear market. A lot of this is not shouting to me panic. It really is just technicals at the end of the day. So again, it's very important to line up your technicals with your macroeconomic analysis. The three things we're watching today: yields, the dollar, and the VIX. We're right below 20, like I talked about. If we stay below 20 today, if the dollar kind of stays flat, it's flat to reddish, and if the 10-year yield, let's say, stays below 17.5 today, that's a good sign and possibly catalyst for a short squeeze tomorrow with a strong jobs report. The question is, I don't know if we have a strong jobs report tomorrow. I wish I had that info, but I don't. But keep an eye on the call volumes today. Keep an eye on the volumes. So take a look at call volumes and put volumes. If put volumes are outweighing call volumes, what we call the put to call ratio, then you start seeing a lot of pessimism. That is a recipe for a short squeeze. We could just be retesting here again, that triple bottom on Nasdaq, and we could soar again. So again, it's extremely imperative to be careful, especially with a big event tomorrow. Understand that. Very, very key. Let's take a look at some pre-market movers, and then we'll answer some questions. Apple's down 0.65% this morning. Bed Bath & Beyond is up 10% this morning. Let's take a look. Microsoft down 0.22%. Walgreens up 2.69%. Boeing up 0.26%. JP Morgan up 1.35%. Goldman Sachs up 0.85% this morning. Let's take a look at Tesla down 1.15%. AT&T up 1.66%. Bank of America up 1.44%. AMD slightly green. And on the Nasdaq, Nvidia is up 0.40%. Lucid Group down 1.17% this morning. That's where we are. Let's go ahead and clear this out. Not needed. So really, that's all we're looking at in terms of technicals. Again, a lot of growth names have taken a hit. We know that. But the question is, have we hit a bottom, or do we continue to go down? So I do own some growth names, don't get me wrong. I actually added to some Palantir yesterday. I added to some football TV. Again, these are small parts of my speculation bucket. I'm thinking long term. That's really what I'm doing. So again, guys, we've been through this in December before the Santa rally. We've been through this in October when we had the October lows. We went through this in September. We've been through this in the summer. We've been through this in May. We've been through this in March. And what happens? It just keeps continuing to grind higher. It's not just one green whoosh to the upside. It's just, it takes time. We have volatility here and there. It makes sense when you're still fighting Omicron, you're still fighting coronavirus, you have the Fed looming, you have inflation readings. It's not easy here, especially. I know we just want this green one shot to the moon, but it's just not going to happen. So you just have to be careful, be tactful, know what you're doing in terms of technicals, and have a technical reason while you're trading something. If you're investing in anything, like I talked about yesterday, make sure you have a plan in terms of why you invest in it and why you're willing to hold. If you have those two things, you're going to be fine. All right, good morning. How do you check on interest rates? So the first thing right here is your 10-year yield. That's TNX on the ticker, TNX. Or you could just go to CNBC and I'll tell you the bond yields. The 10-year yield on CNBC, very easy. You have two options. Any buys today? Again, I have to see how the market opens. Let's see. Buying, I don't know. I haven't had an alert because the market's not open. The 10-year, yep, the 10-year is TNX. That's the 10-year yield. You can take a look at that. Just type it in your brokerage, and you should be able to see it. So again, if you see 1726, move the decimal point to the left. 1.726 is your yield. Next 4 months, which sector do you think does best? Energy or banks? If we expect a rate hike in March, it'll be banks. If we expect more demand or less drilling from OPEC, then it's going to be energy. So it really depends. I think both are going to do fine. Again, I'm still bullish energy. I've been saying it for a while now. I still believe $100 a barrel is your ceiling in terms of energy, and we'll probably get there this year. And then after that, we'll subside a little bit and get back down. But $100 a barrel is heavy resistance. This is why I do hold XOP, which is the refiners ETF, and they're up pre-market to 104.31. You can bring up to the hourly. You can see that they're up slightly. So that's why I have XOP with the investment club. Do you think ENB can outperform this year? ENB, Enbridge, I don't know much about them, so I'm not sure. I can't give you an opinion about a company I'm not really sure of. Thoughts on Chamath position on VMMA? I own Visa. I love Visa long term. Again, I haven't read on why he's shorting. I don't know his thesis. I guess it's more of a crypto thing. But Visa and MasterCard are going to be forever in a sense. I consider them utilities because you need them to pay for things. So granted, I think they're great, healthy companies. Chamath can have his theory. I'm still holding Visa. I'm with it. BABA, let's take a look at Alibaba. BABA is up pre-market. We still need a break of 130.10. That's the level we need to break, and then we can start talking about calls. There is an upside gap at 160, so there is some room to run on Alibaba. Microsoft gap fill, let's see. Looking at Microsoft here, there is, unless I see a small gap, but we're tapping the 100-day moving average. Sound familiar, Nasdaq? Right on the daily, so that'd be a good candidate for a bounce if we do get one. But I don't see the gap that you're speaking of here, so no, there is no gap that I see. Price to add on Lemonade, Square, and SE seems to be down too much, still bullish overall. I don't know about SE. I don't like Lemonade. I'm not a fan of insurance companies. I'd rather have MetLife if that's the case, or United Health. So I'm not really sure. So I don't like Lemonade to begin with. You can buy whenever you want. I just don't like it. Looking at Square, I do own Square. I have a break level of 124.22 to buy more. Let's see if we get there. You can see it's right here. Definitely has fallen from grace. And SC Limited, I don't know much about this company. So again, that's really up to you. If you're looking in terms of technicals, we sliced through support already. So again, it's really up to you if you want to own it. Tesla seems to give up the 2 days gain. Price to add. Let's take a look at it. Tesla right now is at 1088. So I still think 900 is a great level if you can get there. I think 900, you could keep buying there. 900 is a really good level. And again, you see that's the initial breakout. We retested, and we're nowhere near it. We're $188 above that. So if you can get to $900 again, great. I just doubt that it happens. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it really is just his technicals right now and fundamentals. That's really what you have to look at. Yes, is there some fear in the market? Yeah, I don't think that we can deny that. Of course. The question is it time to sell everything? Is it time to panic? No. You don't make a dime panicking. You just don't. And again, if you're worried about these growth names, you're too heavily invested in it. That's the problem. If you have an index fund and you have your core holdings, you're not worried about anything. Most of the questions I got is because people have SE, they have Square, they have a Space, they have a DraftKings. I own DraftKings too. They own Pinterest, they own Snapchat, they own these high beta names, and that's where they're getting hurt. And that makes sense, obviously. But if you're too heavy, of course you're going to be panicking. But again, if you have just a small slice of portfolio, your speculation bucket, you're not worried about that today. But yeah, there you go. So that's where we are for today. Again, watch those key indicators. Look at the VIX, look at the dollar, look at the yields today. We may possibly have a triple bottom. Be very careful. If I see anything, I will definitely let you know on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at G.A.R Capital, and let's see what we get. So let's make it a great Thursday, and we'll catch you guys for the aftermarket recap at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cheers, guys.